right. So we got the song that ended Styx, huh? Mr. Roboto from Styx. You guys can check it out. Um, Secrets revealed. Secrets being revealed. How many of you have heard a secret and nobody believed you? I'm sure all of you, right? Well, Astro just wants me to tell you that they don't want you running around trying to tell everybody these secrets, and they don't want you trying to convince everybody of these secrets. Just like back in the 80s when Styx brought this big secret out, right? It kind of ended their career, I hear, but I'm not going to get into all that. But what I'm trying to tell you is if you watch the video on my playlist, I put it on there, it's a human being like me, but underneath the skin is a robot. And you know that that's going on today. You know it, right? You know about NPCs, you know about cloning, you know about people that are human that are putting on masks even to pretend they're somebody else. You've had body doubles all during the Hollywood movies. You've had body doubles, stunt doubles, you've had actors wearing masks. So all of this is real, but when it comes to trying to convince the normies or the NPCs of this stuff, Astro's just telling you to hold back. The other message I got from this was there was a time when my last mission partner was acting off. And I would say to him, you know, everything's being recorded, everything you do and say. Now, I was talking quantum consciousness from the spaceship. I'm sure he probably thought the house was bugged because he wasn't on my level of thinking. But I really want you guys to understand that everything that you say, do, think, it's all being recorded. So if you think you're in your closet banging one off and nobody's watching you, you got another thing coming. If you think you can walk down the street and be thinking thoughts that nobody's thinking or hearing, you're wrong. Everything's quantum. It's a quantum field, and we've been on it a long time. So I wanted to throw that out there because this is really important that you understand that things are not what they seem to be. Now with that shorts, the main energy is immoral, no integrity. That's the people that are getting busted now. Okay? Remember I said these arrests have been going on for years. Gitmo's full. The other planets are getting full. The universes are getting full, which not really because there's no full limit to the universe or to other planets. But you get my drift, right? You catch my drift. As I said yesterday, we say that a lot. Right now, when I told you that it's the minions running around, those little minions that are all left, well, that's these guys. That's the ones that are immoral, that they have no integrity. They're running around pretending that they're someone they're not. These aren't the good guys with masks on. These are the bad guys that want to try to fool you. You could even be living with somebody that's a devil, immoral, no integrity, and you don't know because they look pretty normal. So all this woo-woo stuff again, okay, that's what it is going on right now. Secrets are being revealed. So again, with that story about the bait car, we put the car out there running, we see who comes in and steals it, and then we stop the car, we bust the person, take down the whole team. I told you that last week. Well, that's what's going on. It's the whole team. Who's the whole team? Well, the whole team is wearing masks. They're immoral. They have no integrity, and we're taking them out. So that's what's being revealed right now. Secrets are being revealed. There's no place safe to hide. Now, when he was singing, the moon card showed up, and the moon card, he said, I have a secret under my skin. Secrets, secrets. That's the moon card. And this card came out. So all the secrets are being revealed. Now, this does apply to you too, because I also said yesterday that we're having people not be fired that are good, but we're putting them on their other assignments because they can't handle the higher assignment. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of their secrets are coming out. They came to us with that quantum consciousness of, I am worthy, I can do this, but then they slowly get lower and lower from matrix thinking, from all these immoral with no integrity people around them. And instead of cutting the cords, like we keep telling you, get that divorce, leave that job, right? They're not doing it. So since they're not doing that, you in particular, you're going lower, okay? Now, that doesn't mean you're fired. It just means you have to go to a different assignment because you're not that modern day warrior that you think you are, that you said you were, because you've been tested, tried, and proven that you can't handle it. Some of you can handle it. So the secrets go both ways. The good guys and the bad guys are being tested right now. Tested, trialed, and put to where they need to go. Because this is the final finale. It truly is. Okay? Now, the Seven of Diamonds, the Seven of Pentacles, has been coming out almost every day, if not every day. With the Seven of Wands, it's badass success, and that's the Six of Pentacles. But the Seven of Pentacles is that, what do you do after you've completed your task and you got the A+? So then you go on to another big mission, okay? What about the survival mode? That card came out. The ones that didn't rank up to what they were supposed to do because they have not cut the cords, they haven't left the job. You don't leave a toxic job or a toxic marriage or a toxic friendship, it will pull you down. Remember when I said I was alone for 5 years for a reason? And when I mean alone, I mean only with animals, okay? Sure, you got your neighbors that you say hi to once in a while, but no job, no family, nothing. Now, what fell on the floor was my hard work's paying off. The Eight of Pentacles. We've got a Seven of Pentacles, an Eight of Pentacles, and a Nine of Pentacles in this reading. So what do you do when you get promoted or demoted? You either go into a survival where you are feeling like, oh, I better get my shit together, right? That survival mode. Some of you are in it. I've read it in the comments. That's where you're at. You're in this survival mode. This, I better get my head out of my ass, but I keep falling type of survival mode, right? And you're also in a survival mode because you didn't leave that toxic job, that toxic wife, that toxic husband, and their consequences are affecting you. So they may be out buying a bunch of food and panicking, and they might be stuck at the airports right now because they didn't listen. You know, they're not listening to Miss Mystic's energy reports. They're just doing their thing. And you're getting sucked into their shit because you haven't cut the cord. You haven't got the divorce. You haven't left the toxic situations. So survival mode. So you either got the victory, the 7 of Pentacles, your hard work is paying off, the 8 of Pentacles, or you're in that survival mode. Okay? Now, we do have a 9 of Pentacles, and we do have 7, 8, 9. So you can get to your 9 of Pentacles. You can get there if you pull your head out of your ass. And I've been saying that a lot. You know, we got the Page of Swords. Can you start having them bright ideas? Can you start studying what I tell you to study? Can you start doing this stuff? Well, I think if you're listening to this video, I think you are trying. The ones that have clicked off, again, are the ones that should be hearing this and they're not. Remember I say I'm always preaching to the choir? So you're probably doing a good job. You probably got the higher ranking. You probably got the better assignment, right? But this is coming as a warning, because if you don't stay spiritual and you don't stay on this track, you're going to end up just like them in this survival mode. We don't want to be in the survival mode. Now, the biggest thing that's happening is you're not forgiving yourself. St. Michael says, forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong, and you don't see that. You are still looking at the past as, I'm to blame for my own soul contract. I did this, I did that, woe is me. Instead of looking at it as, I completed that assignment, I'm done with that assignment, I'm moving on. What did I learn? How would I do it differently in the future? And moving on. You're staying stuck in the past. Your woe is me. So St. Michael's saying, forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. This is all part of the assignment. If you were making a banana cake and you came to me and said, I didn't get a blue ribbon, I got a green ribbon, which I think is 3rd place. Can you tell me what I did wrong? And me being the master teacher that I am with banana cakes, I tell you what you did wrong. And I said, you didn't use gold medal flour, you used a generic brand. Well, I didn't have enough money and it was on sale. Well, you have to only use gold medal flour, because if you use a generic brand, you will not have the same texture and you won't get the blue ribbon, the A+. So you go back to the store, you spend a little extra, maybe even double these days, and you get that gold medal flour and you get the A+, you get the blue ribbon. Okay, you don't beat yourself up for that one mistake that you made in the past. You chalk it up as you learned from it. I'm never going to buy that cheap flour again. Even if I have to cut corners someplace else, I'm not doing it because I got the blue ribbon with the gold medal flour. Same here. That's the attitude you have to take. If you're going to keep beating yourself up for the shit you done in the past, and I'm talking from this moment past, that's your problem. You're not getting the Queen of Pentacles finished. You're not getting that finished because you don't feel like you have all you need. You still have a spiritual and a material imbalance, okay? You're not being grounded, generous, strength, kind, nurturing. You're not doing them things correctly. You're not the Queen of Pentacles yet. And you can't become an Empress until you become all 4 queens. So the Queen of Pentacles is a really, really good queen to get, okay? So we end with, it's kind of like tipsy-turvy here. Now I'm going to show you why. The next card's out, we've got the 10 of Cups energy. So when I said we end with, are you going to stay living in fantasy land? Or are you going to make the fantasies come true? Are you going to stay in survival mode attitude? Or are you going to get busy with the Page of Swords and you're going to stay spiritual and go towards your 9 of Pentacles? Okay, so the Ten of Cups also represents love, soul, mates, and wholeness. Are you going to stay half the apple and take on another person that's like you and do two halves make a whole, like I did for the last 35 years, right? Or are you going to stay a whole apple, wait for your other whole apple to come in, but he or she is on the same tree? That's what they wanted me to mention too. I didn't mention that the other day. It's two whole apples from the same tree. Okay, so you want to go towards your Ten of Cups. But are you going to do it fantasy land, or are you going to make the fantasy come true? I got a secret. I got a secret. Yep. Okay, so then we're going to just finish this up with, we've got the Lovers card, the Four of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. So what's the final message? The final message is just what I said. Everything I just said. Which way are you going to go? Half an apple and get another half an apple and be a whole apple? Four and Five of Pentacles, right? Or are you going to become a whole apple and get your other whole apple from the same tree? Four of Pentacles is success, stability, generous, accepting your worth with gratitude, helping others. And the Five of Pentacles is thinking outside the matrix, clearing your blockages, thinking about health and finances, but everything balanced, okay? So Four and Five of Pentacles, the Lovers card is the last part here that they wanted to tell you. And then the very last card is the King of Pentacles. So the Queen and the King of Pentacles come together. If you can stay with secrets being revealed and not going and telling everybody and not trying to convince everybody, I got a secret. Guess what? This guy is really a robot, you know? Just let them figure it out. This has been going on forever, okay? Same with when I told my mission partner that everything was being recorded and everything was being seen, so he probably shouldn't be acting the way he's acting. I didn't get into it. I didn't say I'm on a spaceship and we're watching you. You know, it's like back then you were dumbed down. You were in a program. You were watching the news and you were walking a different lifestyle. Then you went to bed at night and you were on the spaceship, but then you come back into this life and you didn't talk like we do now. Now we've broken free from the matrix. We're not dumbed down. Our DNA has been activated and we can talk like this, but we're not trying to convince people. So if people want to talk like this, that's why the comments are off and you have free will whether you watch me or not. Okay, I'm not forcing this down anybody's throat, and I'm not defending myself, and I'm not playing into the comments. Okay, so once again, do as I do, receive what I receive. Don't do as I do and stay in the survival mode with the matrix. So the end is the Queen and the King of Pentacles together. What are they going to do? They're going to be Emperor and Empress, and they're going to be gods and goddesses in the new earth. So we have a grand future. We've got this Ten of Cups, this fantasy coming true. All right, you guys, I am Miss Mystic. Thanks for listening.